What's up? And welcome in to Under the Hood with me, Jonathan Hood. Thanks so much for downloading the podcast and checking us out on YouTube, youtube.com. Our YouTube is growing. Thank you so much for helping us grow our YouTube channel. It's right there in the bio of our platforms. So please subscribe to everything that we do here on Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. We are presented by the fine folks over at Triller TV. Triller TV, the best in combat sports, the premium streaming service for sports and entertainment. Don't miss the action. Stream live now at trillertv.com. And you can follow them at Triller TV on X, on Twitter. And of course, that's where I go for all my combat sports, especially professional wrestling and mixed martial arts and everything else when it comes to the best in combat sports. Triller TV, a fine partner of Under the Hood with me, Jonathan Hood. I am so happy the Chicago Bears are a winning football team, and we're talking about a winning football team, not trying to fire a coach or a general manager like it is in some places. I'm glad that the Bears are in this position. They defeated the New York Giants, as you well know. We'll talk to my crazy cousin Wiley, momentarily, get his thoughts about the 24-20 victory for the Bears against the New York Giants. I want to promote a few things, though, before we hear from Wiley and we get into the Bears. Just want you to know that if you go to the link tree, you can check out the Under the Hood merchandise. It's available right now. It's in the description of the bio. You say, well, where can I find your hoodies? And where can I find your T-shirts? And where can I find your merch? Where can I find all these things? Well, we have all those things in the bio. Check it out. It's in the link tree. Just click Under the Hood merchandise and you're right there. It's a great stocking stuffer for the holidays, and I want you to support this podcast by wearing it on your back or using a Under the Hood mug or tumbler. We have it all in the merchandise store for this podcast, Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. You can't miss it. Just ruminate. Just go around. Just take a look at it. It doesn't hurt you to look. It doesn't cost you anything to click that link to find out if it's something for you. So check it out, Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. How about the Chicago Bears? How about Caleb Williams, the quarterback for the Chicago Bears, leading the charge for the Bears against the Giants 24-20? I said this on the Cap and J Hood Morning Show, where you can find me 6 to 9 a.m. Central on ESPN 1000. Please download the ESPN Chicago app. I mentioned that with Caleb Williams, this young man is special. He's becoming a special quarterback. In the snow, the Bears beat the New York Giants. You know that Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson, they are growing when you see the offense overcome drop passes and bad passes and an offense that was out of rhythm and was outplayed by Jackson Dart, the quarterback for the New York Giants, for about 3 quarters. And I was saying this morning on the radio show that in the fourth quarter, late, Caleb Williams and the offense came through again. He put his Superman cape on. You know why? Because he's been playing super football with that Bears victory over the Giants. I've been asking for Caleb Williams to be the reason for the Bears to win ball games. He has been super clutch despite the hits that he took, despite the drops from his receivers. He still was able to put the team on his back. 220 yards for Caleb Williams with a touchdown, 63 rushing yards with his legs with a touchdown. Super Caleb has been super clutch for the Chicago Bears. And I'm so happy for him. And there's a number of reasons why. I don't worry about haters. I don't. When it comes to my teams, I don't care about those that look at it and say, well, I'm not so sure. It's nothing wrong with being a curious fan. But when you just take a sledgehammer to a team or an individual just because of what's happened in the past, I think that is wrong, especially with a new regime. What I'm saying to you is that when I look at Caleb Williams, in year one, you know how much of a mess that was with the Bears. You know how much that was a mess under Matt Eberflus and what was happening with that regime. They had to fire the coaching staff because the team was not going in the right direction. But you see what Ben Johnson is doing, trying to put his stamp on the team, all over the team, but definitely offensively. Caleb Williams, to me, is getting it. And he's not the finished product yet because the season still is going on. If there's going to be adversity, if there is a rock in his shoe in which there's adversity, how does he handle it? How do the Bears handle it? That's the one thing that you wonder about. You wonder about the adversity of the Chicago Bears. Like if they go through something, can they be able to dig themselves out of it? Last year they didn't because that was a different regime. But I believe this year the Bears can be able to handle some issues that they might have. They lost to the Ravens, and what do? They bounced back and won more football games. And I know these are the slimmest of margins at times watching the Chicago Bears, but man, I'd rather win those games than lose those games, because all my life as a Bears fan, I've seen the Bears lose those slim margin games. And the difference is with this football team, you're seeing that in the fourth quarter late, the Bears took advantage of a shank punt by punter. They got themselves in field position, and Caleb Williams won the game for them. And he's been winning games for the Chicago Bears, coming from behind to win these ball games. So I know that in some ways it feels like first year of Nagy in some ways, when Matt Nagy was the coach for the Chicago Bears, where everything seemed to work because of they use all the trick plays and everything worked well. But I feel that the Bears are building towards something in which they can possibly get to the playoffs, possibly make some noise if Caleb Williams continues to play this way, if the running game continues to go in this direction, and that the wide receivers and the weapons that Caleb Williams has continue to be able to operate in the right direction. See, it's not a team that's a shot to the top of the North or the best team in the NFC or the best record in the NFC. They're not. But they're working toward it. I have a problem with the defense. I've always had a problem with this defense outside of a few games. Jackson Dart ran all over the Chicago Bears to the tune of a couple of touchdowns before they knocked him out of the game with a concussion. And so I'm watching this, and I said, well, if Russell Wilson comes in, the Bears have a chance to win the game because Russell can't run like Jackson Dart. And so I'm going to give the defense credit on one instance, and that is C.J. Gardner-Johnson. He has been an instant energizer for the Chicago Bears. Shout out to C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who was out of football for about a month plus. He was available, and he has been that nickel corner spot guy for the Chicago Bears and has really played well in a big way coming through. When the Bears defense has been stagnant, or you saw them had a hard time stopping the run yesterday, or stopping the run against substandard teams, here comes C.J. Gardner-Johnson doing the job. There's some injuries, yes, to the Bears, but it makes no sense that they can't get more of a pass rush. They did well enough against Jackson Dart, knocked them out of the ball game. But you just want to see, just like the offense is moving in a direction, I want to see the defense move in a direction. It's more than injuries. It's about gap discipline and a team that has no identity on the defensive side of the football. The Bears have no identity on the defensive side of the football at all, and that has to change. It's about winning your one-on-one matchups. It's about being able to get to the quarterback. It's about being able to be a defense that's solid without having to be able to get several interceptions. Outside of the interceptions, what is this Bears defense? And that's the point. They have room to improve, and they have a chance to get better. So it's never the best with the Bears right now. It's not the worst, because we know what the worst is in the NFL. It's the Bears moving up and getting better every week, gaining confidence. It's so hard to win in this league that when you do win a football game, man, that's just the best. Because you feel like, hey, we have momentum, and the Bears for sure have some momentum. As I mentioned, we are presented by Triller TV. We're going to talk to Cousin Wiley in just a moment, get his thoughts about the Bears and their victory against the New York Giants. And by the way, speaking of the Giants, yeah, Brian Daboll fired by the New York Giants. You saw that coming. You knew that was coming. Brian Daboll fired by the Giants. I just thought it was weird late in the game that Daboll just went for the field goal instead of the touchdown. Hell, you're 2-7, 2-8. You're a bad football team. Why don't you go for it? And my New York Giants friends have been talking to me over the last 24 hours saying, Hood, I don't understand why Jackson Dart is in harm's way. He's a young quarterback. Why did Daboll allow him to just keep running with the football? He's been in protocol for 4 times already this year. Concussion protocol 4 times to just check on him, make sure that he's okay. He was knocked out of the ball game. I saw the attendant for the Giants leading Jackson Dart off the field, and Dart almost ran into the cameraman on the sidelines. He got his bell rung big time. And that's why Russell Wilson came in, Ciara's husband, and could not do the job because he's pretty much washed as a quarterback. But, I mean, hats off to the defense that they were able to knock out Jackson Dart. But as far as stopping him and slowing him, it makes me think that if Jackson Dart is still in the ball game, if he doesn't get knocked out, maybe the Giants have a chance to win the ball game. But Dayball's fired. Dayball knew he was going to get fired, and he was. And I'm just glad that the Bears are not in that cycle right now. I hope that Ben Johnson and his coaching staff can hang on here and continue to build this football team, a team that we can be proud of, a team that's always in the mix for the Lombardi Trophy, a team it's not about just being the Packers. It's about sustainability, being a team over 500, a team that's always in the playoff push, a team that's always vying for the NFC crown, and a team that could be a Super Bowl contender. That's the staircase effect when I look at the Chicago Bears. They've got to be able to get on the same page across the board. And you know what? Year one for Ben Johnson, it's kind of an evaluation time for the Chicago Bears to find out who's going to be part of the future and who's not. There's a few players yesterday that kind of showed that maybe they won't be with the football team for the long haul. We'll talk to Cousin Wiley, and we'll talk more about the Chicago Bears team. But please hit that subscribe button as we talk about the Chicago Bears. The Bears win against the New York Giants, and look forward to talking to my cousin about this. And again, Triller TV is our presenting sponsor for Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. Yes, we're talking Bears. There he is. My crazy cousin Wiley is with us here on Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. Oh, my God. He's got a Bears chain on, and he's got his Bears Caleb Williams jersey on. Hello, Cuzzo.
What's going on, cuz? We're streaking again. How you feeling?
Oh, I feel great. You're dressed as a player, and I'm dressed as an assistant coach. That's how I'm dressed today. But either way, we got Bears fever.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, we're 6 wins now. We didn't win 6 games all last year. We've won 6 games once in the last 3 years. So yeah, we were definitely due for this. So I'm excited about the win. I'm excited about where the team is going, and let's get
it going, right?
To it.
Yeah, let's get it going. The Chicago Bears win against the New York Giants in the snow. And by the way, we knew that snow was coming, but it's something about a Bears game and the snow because it makes it even extra special.
It does. You got it's the bear weather.
Oh God.
The atmosphere.
Yeah.
Crowds going crazy, and then just when we feel like we're in trouble, Neo shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Neo, Caleb's the one. Caleb is the one. Neo is dodging sacks in the backfield like he's in the Matrix. And then when he needs to pull out that victory at the end, puts the cape on and does his thing. It's a beautiful thing to watch. We have a young Tom Brady back there. This delivering in the clutch. Delivering in clutch just like we drew it up.
Young what? What'd you say, Cuzzo? Young what?
A young Tom Brady. You got to speak this shit into existence. A young Tom Brady
okay.
back there.
Okay.
Game on the line. Young Tom Brady delivers again. So, yeah, I'll take it. He has, like I said, has a Neo gene when it comes to avoiding sacks. Mm-hmm. He has that Brady gene when it comes to delivering in the clutch. So, Bears 6-3, heading into Minnesota. It's an exciting time.
It is exciting. It's exciting that the Bears in these games that we've been seeing, Cuzzo, are able to pull these games out of the fire. So we can go back to the Cincinnati game where you win 47-42. And that's because it was Caleb Williams that had yet another great fourth quarter comeback. And he helped the defense out. It was one of the few times that we could say over the last 10, 15 years where the offense pulled it out for the defense and the poor special teams in that game. And before that, you're taking a look at other games that they played, like the Vegas game and the Washington game, where you have a pair of 25-24 victories. Hey, man, it's good to be on the other side for once to be able to win those games. But a lot of that comes from Caleb Williams. I have never been like this supreme hater of Caleb Williams because I understand that it's a process. You're in your first year. It's a shit show. your head coach is fired. You had several offensive coordinators. You didn't have a lot of weapons. You didn't help yourself, but the offensive line didn't help you, and your weapons didn't help you. So all of it with a 10-game losing streak was just a bad mix. Now you bring in a head coach that has some accountability, some responsibility. It's fresh and new, and Caleb is still learning on the job, but you cannot deny how he's been able to come back in these games and help the Bears win. I mean, it's tangible. You could see the growth of Caleb Williams, which is really awesome.
No, it is. And then, like, I think a major part of it is not, I mean, I'm not discrediting the work that Caleb puts in, because I'm sure he works his ass off and he wants to be great, which is a half the battle. But he has a head coach in Ben Johnson who he believes in, and he can see the tangible evidence of Ben Johnson's leadership and Ben Johnson's teaching, helping to elevate his game. And he believes, and because he believes, his game has elevated because of it. And I think it's only going to get better. Like, Cuzzo, here's the thing that I know we're still early in the season, but let's look at like the upper echelons teams in NFC. You're talking about the Phillies of the world, the Tampas of the world, the Rams, the Lions, the 49ers. Those are proven winners. We know they're proven winners. These teams have veteran players who have done it for a while. We kind of know where their ceiling is. This Bears team is just scratching the surface right now. We don't know where most of these young core, we don't know where their ceiling is. Right. So when we're looking at them for these next half of the season, the Bears can really take off and become a special team. I'm not talking about winning Super Bowl special or anything like that, but make the playoffs and compete, maybe win a game or two. And then you're looking at a future with a young core who grew together, with a head coach who's also growing. Like, we can look at a team that's going to be winning for years to come, instead of the usual pop-up championships, not championships, pop-up playoff runs that we see every 5 to 10 years or so. So I'm excited about what we want to see in this next stretch of games against the upper echelon teams in the league. So it's a great time to be a Bears fan.
So here's the numbers from Pro Football Focus, Kozo, when it comes to Caleb Williams when trailing this season. 72% adjusted completion rate, 1,306 total yards, 11 total touchdowns, and 2 interceptions for Caleb Williams when trailing this season, meaning that there is a clutch gene there. That it's strange, though, Wiley. It's strange. When adversity hits, Caleb seems to thrive. It's weird because after the first 15 scripted plays, there was this malaise offensively where it's like, man, for one, I thought it was awful that his offensive weapons let him down with, I think, total 8 drops. That's inexcusable. That's one. But two, just like having to punt the football, Ben Johnson had to be pissed about that. Like, he had to roll Taylor out there to punt the ball on 4th and long. He didn't like that. He had to want to use that guy, but he did. He had to. So just the idea that you're behind in the game and Caleb's like, okay, now the light comes on. Hey, man, the light at some point has got to be on for 4 quarters in one way, shape, or form. Field goals or touchdowns. The light has to be consistent, but that's the growing process, I think, for Caleb.
It is. And I think they'll get there, but the team it's building confidence in one another because of the adversity they're overcoming on a weekly basis. So I think as we get to what Ben Johnson said, the Bears will be a better offense when December hits. Hopefully he's right. I think that they're going to take off in a way because of that confidence they're building by pulling out these tough games. And then let's just even thinking about now, like, we're talking about an offense that we can see that still needs to improve, but they're third in the NFL in total yards, Cuzzo. They're seventh in points, I believe, second in rushing, and 11th in passing. Like, we haven't seen an offense like this in years, not really in years, ever. And we're still seeing that they're still kind of raw, a little wet behind the ears, breath still smelling like Similac, all those things. Huh? And yeah, the baby bears.
Please go ahead.
And as these baby bears mature, we're going to see a ferocious offensive attack, even though right now we're third in the NFL in total yards and in the top 10 in pretty much every stat. And then more importantly, what I think they're doing, they're not turning the ball over, Cuzzo. We're talking about a team who has very few turnovers. A plus 14 turnover differential. The fifth fewest turnovers in NFL, 6 total for the entire season. We haven't seen an offense like this ever. And there's again, I said again, they're still scratching the surface. So what will they be when the baby bears grow up? The baby bears start to mature later this year. I don't know, but to me, the sky is the limit for this offense, and hopefully, over time, the defense can get healthy and catch up.
The defense. Let's talk about them because you've had a light on the porch for Dennis Allen since he got here because he felt so bad for Dennis Allen because of all the injuries. It feels so bad for Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator. Yes, he's been without. He's had some injuries here or there. But they're always telling you, Wiley, that they always have enough. Like, no, we're good. We have enough. Okay, great. Here's what I like. Kind of like baseball, when you bring in someone off the scrap heap, someone for your trade, you're like, you know what? This player could be able to make a difference for our team. At least give us a little spark. We've been kind of this blasé as a unit, baseball, basketball, whatever sport we're talking about. But since we're talking about the Bears, and I just thought that the defense was substandard, has been this year. You bring a dude in that's been chilling on the couch for about a month in C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who kind of ignored his way out the league for a minute, kind of doing his own thing, trying to fight with folks. And I think a lot of teams said, no, we could do without. We don't need C.J. Gardner-Johnson. 7 solo tackles in the game on Sunday, 2 sacks and 1 forced fumble. Complete impact for C.J. Gardner-Johnson in the game against the New York Giants.
He has been clutch when it comes to filling the void left by Kyler Gordon. In his 2 games here, I think his 3 sacks that he has puts him at 3rd on the team in sacks, right behind Sweat and I think Dexter has 4. So right behind them, and he's only been for 2 weeks. So the impact that he's made for his team has helped them win the last 2 games. And again, you want to get healthy on defense, and it seems like every time you turn on a game, another defender has gone down. Ruben Hippolyte got injured on Sunday.
Yeah,
I believe now that means that the Bears' entire 2025 defensive draft class is going to miss the rest of the season due to an injury. Mm-hmm. That's never a good thing. But they still find a way. It's never pretty, but giving up 20 points a game. Giving up 20 points to the Giants. And getting the stops when you needed them. They got the stops against old man Russell Wilson when they needed them, and that helped the Bears, get the victory. So again, my hat's off to Dennis Allen. I think the Bears have the right coaches on offense, the right coaches on defense, and the beauty of Dennis Allen is that he sucked twice as the head coach, so he'll never get another job. He's going to be here for as long as Ben Johnson wants him here, which means that the Bears are going to have an elite offensive coach or potentially elite offensive coach and a potentially elite defensive coordinator for years to come. So, that's a great combination.
Yes, the defense did make some stops, but you know what the problem is, Wiley? I said this in the open. The Bears do not have an identity as a defense if they can't get takeaways. If they get takeaways, then it's the Kevin Byard show or it's the Tyreek Stevenson show. You see how far the separation was from the corners or the secondary to the wide receivers of the Giants? Did you see the separation? Yeah. Why was the gameplay at Soldier Field, but Tyreek Stevenson is defending in Rockford? Why was that the case? What the hell was that? So you're not going to be able to have any push against the wide receiver. No bump and run, nothing. You're not going to have any kind of physicality to make sure you bump the wide receivers or bump the tight ends. Shout out to Slayton. Slayton had a tremendous catch for the Giants. That's an all-timer. Never gonna see this shit. It was dope, right? But I have a problem with the secondary not being physical. Nahshon Wright is hit or miss. He had a key play, obviously, in the game on Sunday. But you talk about Similac. You talk about wet behind the ears and the breath. This is where the Bears have to say, okay, We're going to mark all this stuff down. And at the end of the season, we'll tell Ryan Poles, like, we can't play with these guys. We're going to or we need to make an adjustment. Tyreek Stevenson, who I've tried to defend as much as possible because Jalen Johnson hasn't been out there. I've been saying on the radio, Tyreek Stevenson, he's grown up. It's Tyreek Stevenson. Never mind about the Washington game from last year. He's got to be able to fill the bill that because Johnson isn't there. You have to be more of an impact player. He has to bounce back against the Vikings because that's not good enough. And to give up the run the way you didn't have a spy on Dart for him to just waltz into the end zone with his swagalicious ass, just kind of just walking into the end zone. Got to do better than that.
No, I agree, and I think Ben Johnson touched on it today too. We spoke of Dennis Allen probably would have, prepared better for the design quarterback runs because that's where he hurt them the most at was with the design runs. Yeah, you do, but I think that Tyreek Stevenson, since he's come back from injury, he's taken a step back from what we were seeing prior to his injury. But I think also with the ascension of C.J. Gardner-Johnson, that's helped alleviate the pain of losing Gordon again. But I guess part of it too is Nahshon Wright is there because you don't really have a replacement. Terrell Smith was injured. That would have been your replacement for Jalen Johnson, but Terrell Smith was injured. So who do you put there? So you don't have many more options other than moving Gordon out, and Gordon was injured too, so you couldn't even move him out if you wanted to. So when you're down to your fifth and sixth options at cornerback, it gets pretty thin. So I guess the hope is that you get better depth, but better depth was kind of there. You lost some of it because of injury too, and then you lose T.J. Edwards. Like, I love that Noah Sewell is competing, but he's out of place a lot, and he's responsible for a lot of bad plays because he's out of place. He's not getting enough depth on to drop back where he's leaving a void where quarterbacks are just finding tight end right over him, and then he misses a key tackle that would have made it fourth down. And instead of fourth down, it's a 40-yard game. So like that is missing your best linebacker.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I get that, Cuzzo. Totally understand.
Well, what was your best linebacker in T.J. Edwards? So you're over.
Yeah, you got to be able to find guys that can be able to fill the bill, though. Like it's, you had a chance to be able to fill some holes at the deadline. That was not the case.
Yeah.
And so you do what you do, man. Like this is it. This is why you can evaluate who's good and who's not so good for the future. It is what it is at this point. So I get it. By the way, so here's what's great about the game for the Bears with their 24-20 victory against the Giants. So you knock out the swagalicious Jackson Dart, who's always welcome at the barbecue. Apparently, by the way, he's just like he's that dude. He's just. He does. He got all the dances, and he got the nose and the, trying to go through, women's undergarments. I don't know what that is. What he's doing there with the swim move there. I think we know what that is. But he's doing that, and then from there, not only did the Bears knock out the quarterback of the Giants, but they got the coach fired at the same time. Brian Daboll fired today, the head coach for the New York Giants. Daboll. And what happened yesterday was a microcosm of why past Bears coaches have been fired. You watch the game. Big spot, that you're struggling as a football team, so you should always go for it. For him to kick the field goal and not be able to try to punch it in for 7 while the defense is weakened for the Bears, that's one of the reasons why the Daboll's fired. Like, I know they've gone through a lot at the quarterback position, but you can see the Giants, because they've got some talent, but they can't win. And so this is why he was fired today. People in New York have been waiting for this for a while. And because you don't have the quarterback position quite right, you learned this at the last minute that Jackson Dart probably can play in the league. You have a mess, and the message was lost, and they had a chance to win that game. You know what the Giants looked like? The Bears under Eberflus. That's what happened. And then Daboll got fired. And so there it is.
Cuzzo, the cowardice of taking the field goal when you're You're 2-17. You have nothing to lose if you go for the touchdown. If you don't get it, fine. You were aggressive. Like that to me was piss poor coaching. And then you have this young quarterback who has a lot of talent, and you're treating him like he is Tua,
Yeah,
where
right.
you're rolling him out, and he's out there like, like you can't get the guy. Like he's been like concussed or near concussed 4 games this season. Like you can't have that. Like that is to me is unacceptable for a young talent. Do you want to be Mike McDaniel, where you're a young phenom? Every time he falls, he's stuck like that. It's a bad look.
Yes.
It's a bad look. It's a bad look. So,
what was your favorite Tua concussion? He had like 4 of them. Yeah, that's bad. And won't put the kazoo helmet on. He won't put the great kazoo helmet on because he's too cool for that.
Too fucking prideful. Too fucking prideful. Like fuck that shit. Like fuck that pride. Set that pride aside. Put on the beach helmet and just beach ball helmet and roll with it, because at least when your playing days are over, you'll remember some of your playing days instead of needing a nurse assistant for the rest of your life. So yeah, but like you can't treat the young phenom like that. You gotta bring him along as a passer instead of turning him into a crash dummy. And so I'm glad he's out, because now you hopefully get someone in there who can coach up the talent better, because they have a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. Their issue has been coaching. They have arguably the best defensive line in football.
Brian Burns.
With Neighbors, with Dart and Scatterable, like they have a nice core of all young offensive talent where they can compete for at least for the next few years to come. And you have a coach who is, in over his head. So I'm glad we missed out on that, because I remember a lot of people were in on the Dayball thing, like bring in Dayball. Look what he did with Josh Allen. No. Look what he did with the kid that's in Daniel Jones. He couldn't figure it out, and then Daniel Jones goes to O'Connell, and now he's in Indianapolis, and he's Indiana Jones now. He's lighting up the scoreboard with the best offense in football. So, like, coaching makes a difference, and Dayball was in over his head. So him getting fired, Ben Johnson called it. He said, "Hey, let's get the coach fired. Let's beat their ass so bad the coach gets fired." They didn't beat their ass real bad, but the comeback was good enough to get the coach fired. So I'll take it.
So a lot of hallelujahs coming from Gotham because Brian Daboll was fired, as we are presented by Triller TV. Yes, Triller TV, the best in combat sports. Check it out, trillertv.com, or go to the app. Download the app and check out Triller TV. They got so much great combat sports, pro wrestling, whether it's MMA, boxing, it's all there. Triller TV is where you go for that. So, Cuzzo, before I get your prediction, and I think we all know where the prediction's going with the Bears against the Minnesota Vikings, let me just say that with the Vikings 4-5, they just lost to the Baltimore Ravens by a score of 27-19. JJ McCarthy with a couple of interceptions, 20 for 42, good for 248 yards, and 1 touchdown, 120 yards on the ground for the team. And again, the Ravens, who are desperate to be able to dig out of their hole, they're now 4-5. They're probably gonna win the division because it's Lamar Jackson.
Right.
But they're digging their way out of the hole, and Minnesota couldn't do anything about it. So now they're in last place. But can I just tell you, this matchup right here, Vikings and Bears, this, Cuzzo, is the most important game for the Bears to date. It will tell a great story if the Bears can be able to beat the Minnesota Vikings. And here's why. You've had this momentum with this winning streak. You've been able to pull games out of the fire. Caleb Williams at this point in time is a better quarterback than J.J. McCarthy. Now, I know that Minnesota's got plenty of talent, yes, but the Chicago Bears have an opportunity here to really flip the script, to get their lick back, for them to be able to at least split with Minnesota. Prove that you deserve to be at the top of the NFC North with the Detroit Lions by defeating the Minnesota Vikings. The Bears have a lot of momentum on their side. So for me, this is today the most important game for the Chicago Bears. For them to go up there and win, that'll be fun.
No, I agree. They don't have a lot of easy games left on the schedule. You may like pencil in the Browns. Browns is one of those easy games, but besides the Browns, the rest of the schedule are teams who are either going to be in the playoffs or they're currently competing for the playoffs. Really outside of the Vikings, but the Vikings have some of the best offensive talent in football at the wide receiver position. So it's going to be a battle for the defense. So like this is a game where I believe Caleb and the offense has to carry the team. They have to carry the team. And then the defense just has to limit or just confuse a young McCarthy who is still struggling to not only understand NFL defense, but see the field well, just based on his performance yesterday. So continue to confuse him. And if they can do that and Caleb can show up, to your point, from beginning to end for 4 quarters, I think the Bears can go in there and put belt to the Vikings' ass and have a dominant win on Sunday. So, like, just get it done. Like, my prediction for that game is
wait a minute. Wait. You gotta have a spotlight for that. Hang on a second, man. No, don't. You have to have your own spotlight for this. Don't you understand? Hey, do you understand the format of the program? We're not even there yet.
All right. But yeah, I do.
You got to pee? Hang on a second.
I think this is a key game for Ben Johnson, Caleb in the offense. They have to, because they're going to have to carry this team until defense can get healthy, or healthier, because they'll never be healthy this season. But they just get healthier, get some key guys back. If they can do that, you're talking about a team that's barking at the door of the playoffs. And if you get in, it's one game. Anything can happen in one game. So we'll see what happens on Sunday. But I'm expecting the teams to show up big. Must win.
So you agree that this is the biggest game to date for the Chicago Bears?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It is Justin Jefferson, it's Adam Thielen, Jordan Addison at wide receiver, and then McCarthy, and then the running game too. I'm very concerned about the running game. It's just about the Bears defense, man. I just want to see if they can get to McCarthy, if the Bears defense can be able, again, it's not about sacks. It's rattling and getting pressure on McCarthy, pressuring the young quarterback to get into some mistakes. Hell, the Bears could have beat Minnesota the first time. Then McCarthy had this renaissance, and all of a sudden he came through. They had a chance to win.
No, I completely agree. And they gave him confidence. And like McCarthy, we saw him in Michigan. We saw him. He didn't throw the ball a lot, but when he had to deliver with a game on the line, he didn't shy away. Like he wasn't overwhelmed by the moment. And he showed that against the Bears too. When the moment came and he had confidence, he was ready. He was able to deliver. So you can't give him any confidence. You have to make him feel like he has no shot at winning that game defensively if you can. But more importantly, if the offense can score enough points, it won't matter because he won't be able to keep up. So like that, again, falls on Caleb, falls on Ben. Make plays on offense, run the ball effectively, catch the ball that's thrown to you, and you can go and put Minnesota out of their misery. They can start preparing for the draft next year and all those things, and then just get McCarthy up to speed. So when he next year comes back, maybe he's better. But don't give them confidence.
All right, cuz this is your time now. Because this is when I'm not even on the screen. I'm not even on the show. This is your show. You have to give your opinion of the Bears in Minnesota. We'd like for you to break down for our listeners and for our viewers how this game will end with the Bears against the Vikings. What do you see, sir?
All right. Gather around, boys and girls. The Bears are going to go up into Minnesota, and they're going to put belt to ass. Few turnovers by the defense, big day by the offense. I'm thinking Bears 31, Vikings 13, just beginning to end, just total domination. And, we're talking about possibly at the end of next week, first place Chicago Bears. Right now.
31-13 for a team that's been the Cardiac Bears. At the end, you find them to be able to have separation, that kind of separation against the Vikings on the road. Is that what you just said?
I do, because at some point they got to stop trying to kill me every Sunday. Like the last couple Sundays, it was close. Like we're in the house and I'm jumping over like little cousin Wiley. When they score a touchdown, he's jumping too and trying to protect his head. Like, oh my God, you almost killed me.
I know. I mean, it has been like oh my God, are we gonna lose this game? Is always the Bears take it all the way to the edge, don't they? Every time
they do. So I'm expecting a dominant performance, because I know Ben Johnson is prideful. I believe Caleb is also prideful, and yes. I believe this team believes that they have to redeem themselves for what happened in the first game. So I'm looking forward to a dominant Bears win.
And now, Cuzzo, something special.
Yes.
Don't know if you can see that right there.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. It's for our listeners on the podcast. It's Harold's Chicken. I'm putting up a Harold's Chicken Shack logo. Okay. The reason why I'm putting up a Harold's Chicken Shack logo, does this not make you hungry? Just a little bit, just a little mild sauce. Do you like your Harold's like a fourth dark? Do you like the lighter meat? What do you like at Harold's Chicken?
So I'm a wing guy, but I like my wings drenched in mild sauce. And for you West Siders out there, Harold's Chicken is where you go to get the quality chicken from. Uncle Remus isn't that place, but you wouldn't know anything about that. But still love it. Still love the West Siders. But yeah, so I'm a wing guy. Like I'm depending on the day, I can do 10 or better. But yeah, I'm a wing. Just soak them in mild sauce. I used to be salt and pepper, but I'm trying to mature with age and hold off on the high blood pressure. So I take away the extra salt, but I like the pepper still.
Yeah. So here's what's funny about that. Okay, because there's a reason why I brought this up. There's a reason. I have a method to my madness here, where I bring up the Harold's Chicken out of nowhere as we close our show today. The Harold's Chicken logo. There's a reason why that I brought this up, and that is because, well, first, I agree with you on the pepper and salt. We're not our parents, okay? Well, they just put everything into the chicken. Like, I mean, I grew up a lot without having salt. Do you realize that? Because Bob Hood was all about that. Remember that canister, like no salt, where it has it was supposed to be like had that seasoning or that flavor of salt, but it really wasn't.
I think it was called like Dash or something like that.
Dash, yes, I remember that. Yes, Dash, I remember that very well. Because of his high blood pressure, like we didn't have a lot of like what you say, like salt and pepper on the table. It was just taken off. That he might have some stash someplace, but it was not on the table because May wasn't having that. She wanted him to be around for a while. So I kind of grew up that same way, because where unless it's just has no flavor, I'm not putting anything in it because of high blood pressure, right?
Yeah.
So very rarely I pick up the salt shaker or the pepper. But the reason why that I brought this up is because on Threads, and that's where you could find me, by the way, on Threads during the Bears game. I'm always writing my notes on Threads, and that seems to be a hit. On Threads, which I think is connected to Instagram, Twiz Taylor, he just popped in my algorithm. I don't know why. Twiz Taylor says, my unpopular Chicago opinion is that the Harold's on 87th and the Dan Ryan is not the best location. It's the most popular location. Do you agree, sir?
So I agree now. It used to be.
No.
It used to be.
It used to be. Not the best, but he says it's the most popular location. Do you agree with that statement?
I agree with that. It's still the most popular. But I think you got to go to 103rd and Halsted. Like that is that's top shelf right there. They keep crashing into the restaurant. I hope they finally put a barrier up so they can't run cars into the restaurant.
The tough
But
corner.
103rd and Halsted, yes, get to
It's that
103rd and Halsted.
it's that tough corner to the left because you're just trying to get to the Ryan. You're just trying to get,
Yeah.
you're just trying to speed down there and try to get to the Dan Ryan. That's why that happens, I think.
But it's the number one, to me, it's the number one heroes in Chicago. So if you're looking for number one heroes in Chicago, you got to go to 103rd and Halsted. That's the best place. The most popular still is Dan Ryan. They used to be the best, but sometimes when popularity gets so high, the quality kind of goes down a little bit. But get to 103rd and Halsted.
I have some other answers for you, and I want to get your thoughts. I don't know if you've been. I'm sure you've been to as many of them as I have over the years, but there's this thread here of a whole bunch of people suggesting their own Harold's Chicken. Okay, emerged in pink. You should see this profile pic. Doctor.
Pink is always good.
Well, that's what I've been told. Yes. The only two correct answers, says emerge in pink, is 127th and 87th in Sangamon.
Okay.
I've been to the one on 87th and Sangamon. I don't think I've been at 127th and Sangamon. Are you familiar with either location?
I'm not familiar. I'm familiar with 87th. I'm not familiar with 127th, but I'm a believer in the further south you get, sometimes the quality goes down. So like the sweet spot is like 55th to 103rd. You can get quality in there.
You're such a fucking Southeast sider, just like me. You just,
right.
It's just unbelievable. You won't take anything else. If it's Southwest, you won't have it. You take Southeast though every time. That's so funny.
You know better. Like they have a location downtown I've heard about. I will never go to a location because I know they're giving you trash because you don't know better, and that's okay. Support the business.
I have more, Cuzzo. You tell me. So the tipster _, the tipster. Got the braids going backwards here, the tipster on this one. You need to follow along here. 35th and Cermak.
Yep.
Cermak at 35th and King Drive for her. Honorable mention 103rd and Halsted. Criteria has to be fresh and the wings shouldn't be too big. So she's 35th and Cermak or 35th and King Drive. 35th and King Drive.
It's over near the Jewel.
Oh, so yeah, I know what you're talking about. Not too far from the ballpark, from the White Sox.
Yep.
Yes, I'm familiar with that area for several reasons over the years. But yes, Cuzzo, 35th and King Drive or 35th and Cermak. So you're down with that. Does that work for you? Okay.
Yep.
All right. People are agreeing with you. Chicago Socialite, 103rd and Halsted is the best. Sparkle.Rose may not be her real picture. I thought 103rd and Halsted was the best one. Let's see what else we have here. We got some other ones. Oh, so here's one that I think is closed, or if not closed, looks closed, and you know this area very well. 75th and King Drive. She's only one Lori says that I've been saying this for years. 75th and King Drive is much better. They also have the original mild sauce. Homewood is the best in the suburbs for her. 127th is good, but I've gotten old chicken from there recently.
So 75th and King Drive used to be popular when like the apartment lounge was still open. Those days.
Yes, sir.
All the lounges in those areas were open. So you leave, you stumble out of the lounge. Maybe you got lucky and you grab you some wings, and then you continue on with your night. you put some mild sauce on it.
You apologize to Soul Vegetarian because they're not open. So sorry, gotta go to Harold's. That's how that works. Soul Vegetarian down the street, but sorry, not open. My brothers, we'll go over here to Harold's.
Yeah, go to Harold's. Put some mild sauce on it.
Just for me, JUSFAHMEEE. These kids with their spelling. She says it's actually 91st and Ashland. Haven't been to that one. Have you?
I have, but no,
Not
because
not
here's
no.
what you get inconsistent product. And to me, consistency is the key to location. Sometimes you get like the smallest wings ever, and you get a whole order of wings about this big, and then at other times the wings are hard as a rock. So like you need consistently creates quality. You can't just have occasional good quality. So no, not that location at all. No, hard no.
Such an effing lady. I think that might be somebody might sue over that one because I think that is a comedian that we know, right? Such an effing lady. Such an effing lady says no. It's the 87th and Express for me. You know that Harold at the gas station, is that a Shell right off the Rhine? You know what
Yeah,
I'm talking about? Like tucked
yeah,
away over there. Is that a Shell
yeah.
gas?
It is.
She said 87th Express is the one for me. Also, the one in Roseland and Calumet is also top tier. But let's not forget about the one on Michigan and Cermak with all the aunties. That's from Such an Effing Lady.
So I believe the Roseland one is the she's talking about is still a Halsted location. It's 130 in Halsted. But that Shell gas station, Cuzzo, gas everywhere in the city can be $2.50. That Shell gas station will still be $5. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're like, if you need to have some gas, you'll pay this $5. We don't care what gas prices are anywhere else. We're going to charge you $5. Period. It is what it is. But yeah, no, like she's right on the Halsted. Like not on Roosevelt. No, that's too close to North Side. No, but yeah.
A guy named the Don John, THA Don John says, bear with me. It's really 53rd, but the conversation is going to be run by the YNs.
Yes.
Talking about the Hyde Park one. He said it's really 53rd, but the convo is going to be run by the YNs. Talking about this conversation. This guy like so he prefers the Hyde Park one, but he feels like too many people on here is concerned with others.
You stop in Kenwood, you get your couple drinks,
yes,
to take home, and then you go to that Harold's and get you some wings, or some half and halves, however you like it. You can go there. They used to have a what was it, Leora's right there? There used to be one right there.
Leona's.
Leona's, right. They used to be right there too. So
yeah, in the same complex.
Yep, same complex.
Yeah, same complex. I mean, I think that business is closed now because there's one in Beverly.
Yep.
And so I think it's all done now. Too bad. And there was one on Stony.
Yep.
but somehow it's closed down. Don't know what happened. Then there was a fire afterwards. Thank you, Nipsey's. Don't know what happened there. Just a fire out of nowhere. Right. Shame. Just out of nowhere. A thriving business just closed.
You know what? Crazy Howard had one on, was that 89th and Stony?
87th. It was on 80, right next to the beauty shop. And I know if you're listening from out of town, you're like, what are these guys talking about? We're talking about Chicago Eats right now.
Yes.
But yes, the Harold's Chicken was, and I used to go in there. I used to criticize Howard. I'm like, Howard, beers start at noon. How come this mug ain't open at 11? Yeah. It was weird, right? It's like, get the chicken before, that way we could have the party. And he would open like at noon on Sunday. Like, it's not even ready yet. It was like 88th and Stony, right next to the Guiney in the beauty shop.
Right. The quality was pretty good, though.
The Guiney was pretty good. It's about the Guiney or the chicken?
Yeah, you just spread the wings open.
Okay, well, folks, that'll do it here for Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. That'll do it.
Open the legs.
Oh, well, that's fine. Well, folks, thank you so much for tuning in to Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. And we're presented by the fine folks over at Triller. Yes, Triller TV. Proudly bringing you Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood as we talk about the Omigani and the open legs and the chicken over at Harold's. Well, folks, that'll do it. So, before we're kicked off YouTube. So thank you so much, folks. Is our mascot available? Is he available?
He is. Rocky.
Bring him in.
Let's go, Rock.
We ask you to please like, share, and subscribe and comment to this video, especially Cousin Wiley, letting us know about the open legs of the gynecology business. Make sure you leave a comment below on what we've been talking about here with the Bears and everything else.
You like open legs too, don't you, Rocky? Yes. Open legs.
Okay.
Just dive right in.
Looks like he's looking for some now. My God.
Dive right.
Oh my God. It looks like he's looking for some open legs at this point. Well, folks,
dive right in.
That'll do it here for Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. For Cousin Wiley, our resident gynecologist, this is Jonathan Hood. Thanks so much for supporting Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. Please subscribe. So long, everybody. So long. So long, Rocky.
You want open legs? Open legs. Little mouth sauce. Pour it on there. Huh? Get right up in there.
Oh my God. Sorry. One thing I should mention that the best Harold's for me is 808 East 79th, Cuzzo.
Okay.
But you do it for Grubhub. You don't go up in that joint. It's for Grubhub only.
Well, so now you can because they closed Happy's, and Happy's is right there.
Right.
So you are liable to get shot while getting your wings. But since Happy's is closed now, there's not like 90 people outside in front of the liquor store, so you can grab your wings without a bulletproof vest now. But it was you had to come out there with your vest because the police was setting up shop on like every corner, and it was still every day somebody got shot in the middle of the street. It was like, oh, where were they going? They went to Harold's. They stopped in the Happy's, but it was always in front of Happy's. So finally, shout out to I believe that's Michelle Harris too. Shout out to Michelle Harris, Alderman Harris. Got that one shut down because it was a lot of issues there. Okay,
so now it's on the record. What my favorite one is. Now we can actually end the podcast. Now that's just a little extra for you folks. If you're just wondering what is Jay Hood's favorite Harold's, it's on 79th. Shout out to the Leak family and other caretakers. If you'd like to drop your body off and also have a 10-piece with mild sauce, you could do both in the same area. Thank you very much. Now it's on the record. So long, everybody.